I have wanted to film this video for years. I think I'm finally at a place where I'm going to be able to share some good advice with you and tips with you, be able to explain well how I edit my videos. Whether you're just someone trying to, for the first time, learn how to edit, or if you're someone experienced and just want to see how other people edit their videos, well, this video is for you because I'm going to go through everything I do, and hopefully you can find something that will make your workflow more productive. So let's get on into this video. I'm going to jump right into the equipment I use. So the first thing is my camera, which is kind of important. The camera I'm currently filming on is the Canon G7X Mark II, which is a very common camera in the YouTube world. The computer I use to edit is this 13-inch MacBook Pro. I love it so much. I've had it for a couple years now. By far the best computer that I've had. I use this dongle to transfer footage from my SD card to my computer. For hard drives, I use the Lacy hard drive. I'm pretty sure this is 2 terabytes. And guys, this is my favorite hard drive ever. I love it so much. This is my 3rd one. Everything that I talk about in this video that's a product, I'll have it linked down below so you can check it out if you want to. And last but not least, my iPad. I use this for videos as well. So now let's go ahead and talk about workflow. Once I finish filming a video and I'm ready to start editing, I will take my SD card and import the footage to Final Cut Pro through my external hard drive. If I were to just edit straight on Final Cut Pro, just like right to my computer, and a hard drive wasn't involved, I would have so much more trouble with keeping up on the storage of my computer. It's like every 5 seconds it's like, you have 50 megabytes of storage remaining, and you're like, hold up, wait, where did all of that storage go? It's definitely a necessity when you're editing videos to have a hard drive so that you can keep your videos and projects on this instead of your computer. There's a video that I always go to when I'm trying to save my libraries to my Lacy hard drive instead of my MacBook. So I'll link that video down below. I feel like they're able to explain it better, and that's the video I always go back to if I started editing something on my Mac without the Lacy hard drive and I want to put it on there to free up space. Once I've imported all the footage to my computer, I will take all of the footage that I took within the video that I'm editing and I'll put it in the timeline. And then I'll start rough cutting. Okay, so the rough cut is kind of like the brunt work, the brute work. You know what I mean, where you're like, this isn't that fun because you're going through and you're just listening to all your mess ups and just kind of like taking them out. But that's another thing that I would cut out, like pauses and ums, like so things like that. You just that's what a rough cut is for, so that you can just have all the footage that you're actually going to be working with in your project. The next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is shortcuts. Oh my gosh. If you don't know these shortcuts, or you don't use these shortcuts in editing, your life is going to be changed by implementing these. I'm talking from experience. From the beginning of me editing and how long it took me to now is completely different, and though I'm kind of a perfectionist and it still kind of takes me forever, it's so much faster than it was when I first started. So implement these shortcuts when you're editing on Final Cut Pro and your life is going to be changed. The first shortcut is Command B. This is probably one that you're already using. It's like the simplest Final Cut Pro shortcut. You're just cutting into your timeline. The next one is Option Bracket. Please tell me that you're not doing Command B, scroll over, Command B, click delete. Please tell me you're not doing that. If you feel called out right now, you better implement this next shortcut into your editing life. You want to be doing Command B, scroll over, Option Bracket. Instead of breaking one clip up into 3 different parts, selecting one and deleting it, all you have to do is cut, scroll over, and it pulls that entire section to meet the other one. As you implement this, you'll see it just takes out the whole middleman step and makes things so much faster. You can also use this shortcut both ways. So whether you're trying to pull from the left side or pull from the right side, it's gonna pull it one way or another depending on what you need. And those this changed my editing game. Please implement these if you haven't already. Some other shortcuts that you're going to need to know are Command A, which is select to also say you're like importing footage, and you click Command A, it's gonna select everything that's in that section. Saves you a lot of like dragging and pulling time. Another one is R for range. That has to do a little bit more with music and sound, so I'll talk a little bit more about that one when we're in the music section. to go straight back to the regular mouse cursor, then you can just click A and it'll switch from whatever tool. Another thing that I find very important is to customize your keyboard shortcuts. I actually figured out how to do this by watching Hannah Elise's video, so I'll leave hers down below. To customize your keyboard, you're going to want to go to the upper left hand corner of Final Cut Pro. You're going to click on where it says Final Cut Pro and then go to Commands. From there, you're going to click the Customize, and then it's going to bring up the keyboard, and that is where you're going to edit your shortcuts. How you're going to be able to edit this is by clicking whatever command is listed and then the shortcut that you want to go along with it. Again, I'm going to leave Hannah Elise's video down below. I feel like she explained it super well, so if you want to get a better grasp on how to do that, you can watch her video. But I do recommend doing this. It just saves a lot of time. There is one shortcut that I know for sure that I put into my computer. I made Command P the shortcut for pasting effects, which saves so much time. It comes differently in the computer, but I just found that easier to do than whenever they had it programmed before. Also, D for duration. I don't know if I put that or if that was already in there. After I have finished the rough cut using all of my shortcuts, and I feel like I've got pretty close to the footage that's going to be included in the final cut, the next time I'm going through my video is to add in all of my zoom ins and everything like that. So you know when people are like, so that is transforming. The first thing you want to do when you're trying to transform a clip is to go down to the left-hand corner of the Final Cut Pro screen where it has the little box with the dots in the corner. You're going to click on that and then make sure that the little film camera view is up. And then you're going to want to go to click on that little triangle thing. Once you click on that, you can use the sidebar to zoom in and move around. And as you move over, it's going to track what you do. So as you pull things, what's a good way to describe this? Sometimes it's really hard for me to describe like how these things work. This is the way that I think about it. If you're trying to transform something, so say you want to move with my hand, you're going to start when my hand's down here, and then you're going to go to the end of the clip where my hand's up here, and that's where you're gonna zoom in and pull. So it should have like a red line up like that. So I don't know if that made sense. That's kind of what I think of when I'm trying to transform things. Honestly, the best way to like learn and be able to figure out how you can do this really quickly is just by practicing, because it's one of those things that's kind of difficult to explain, and you just kind of have to get in there, roll your sleeves up, and practice. The other thing I use in the transform area of things is the Ken burn, and that's just the zooming in, so where you see it slowly zooming in. How you get to that is you're going to click the little box in the corner like you did to transform, but instead you're going to select the crop tool. Then in the little bar on the bottom, you're going to click Ken burns, and then you can decide whether you want it to zoom in or zoom out or whatever. So that is how you use the Ken burns effect. Both of these things you can do on text as well. So a lot of times I will just transform text. You can transform anything. Anything that you import in there, whether it's like video footage or you have something you want to move across the screen, you're gonna use the transform feature to do that. I definitely recommend looking up other videos. I know for me, I've looked up so many videos. To this day, I'll still be like, okay, I have this idea in my head, but I do not know how to execute it on Final Cut Pro with the transform tool. So I'm gonna take it to YouTube, and hopefully somebody has answered my question, and most of the time they have or somewhat have, so that I'm able to figure it out. The next section we're going to talk about is effects, and this is where things get fun. Some of my favorite effects that come with Final Cut Pro are bad TV, which is like, you know, this, and then you can also do it on text, so it makes it like go crazy, and you can adjust everything to like kind of get the look you want. Another one I love using is underwater, and you'll see this a lot on text as well, where it's like kind of just wobbling. Another one is fisheye. We all know fisheye. This one is always used when somebody's doing something funny or you're making a odd face. I've recently just started using this effect a little bit more, but it's the bloom effect. If you watch Mia Salazar, then she does this a lot when she's doing her like little like dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm talking about, where it's like music playing. She's like doing something funny or walking around and it's like highlighted. So that's something that she does that I thought was like super cool, that I've kind of tried to incorporate in my videos a little bit more. So that's another effect I like using in like the funny category. Camcorder effect, so this is just the little record screen that everybody loves. The next effect that I like using is the shape mask. So if you've seen anybody make a video and it almost looks like a vintage TV screen where it looks like this, there's other features where you can like specifically draw like a shape you want, and it kind of does the same thing. But this is a nice one if you're wanting to add a little bit of a vintage vibe into your videos. One of the shortcuts that is going to be really useful if you're using these effects is my customized shortcut, where I'm copying and pasting effects onto other clips. So say you edit one of the clips where it has like this vintage TV shape on it, but you're like, am I gonna have to go into every single clip and select all of the same settings on every clip that I want this TV on? If you are doing that, no. Please implement this shortcut into your editing. It's gonna save you like so much time, okay? Whatever clip had the setting that I wanted another clip to have, I just click it, Command P, select all of the other clips that I want to have that same effect, and then Command P. Okay, boom, done. It's amazing, thank me later. Everybody's favorite free way to spice up your videos, green screens. So green screens are amazing if you just want to add something spicy, something special. All you're going to have to do is go on to YouTube, search whatever you're looking for, green screen, and then tons of videos are gonna pop up. A lot of people love the VHS look, so there are lots of VHS green screens on YouTube. Another example of a green screen is in my cleaning before I go to college video. I have like an old TV, like it's an actual old TV, and it like zooms in to me cleaning. That's a green screen. Once you find a green screen you like on YouTube, you're going to want to download that to an MP4, and I use the site YouTube to MP3. This is a site that I use to convert YouTube videos. I use the MP4 setting if I'm trying to get a green screen from YouTube because it'll take the whole video. I will say for some sites, I know that they could possibly give viruses to your computer, so just be aware of that. Once I have gotten my effects down and my green screens in, I will implement transitions. I mainly use two transitions. I use the spin and zoom with a duration of 8 seconds. I also use the swipe transition with a duration of 3 seconds. So I actually have set the swipe transition as my default transition. I'm pretty sure you just click twice and you can click set as default. Oh, I remember now. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. To set a transition as your default, you're going to go into your transitions tab, click with 2 fingers on whatever one you want to set as your default, and then click make default. It's as simple as that, and it saves so much time. We're all about time efficiency around here. All right, it's text time. I'm really excited for this one because this is one of the things that helps like give your video some life, some liveliness, you know? So the first thing I do when I'm trying to edit my text is I use the shortcut Option T, which just makes a basic title pop up. And then from there, I go and choose the font and like what I want it to look like. After I've done that, this is another tip that blew my mind and saved my life at the exact same time. Once you have found a text that you love, maybe it could just be that for this specific video, I'm using this text. Don't want to worry about having to reset the settings on everything. Once you have your text set, you've got it in your timeline from the basic title to whatever you wanted it to be, you're going to go above where you would type in the text that you want. There's going to be something written above it, whether it's normal or regular or whatever. You're going to click that and you're going to click Save All Format and Appearance Attributes. This is the best. Then it's going to pop up this little tab that says Save Preset, and then it wants like a name for your preset. Type whatever name you want. I usually like to put in the person who like inspired it. So if I saw someone like have this cool text on their videos and I'm like, I want to use that, like I want to find something like that and use that, then I will usually name it after them. If Hannah Meloche uses a text, then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Figure out what kind it is or find one that looks similar, and then I'll title that preset Hannah or Caroline Manning or Annie Long or whoever it may be. It just helps differentiate them, and then I don't have to like come up with a weird random name every time. To find my fonts in the first place, I go to dafont.com. They have so many on there. Fonts are so much fun. You can do so much with them, so just play around with it and find and whatever goes with the style of video that you are making. A few of my favorites that come right on Final Cut Pro are Helvetica New. I also like using Georgia, and then I just use a bunch of other ones from DaFont. For this next step in the editing process, this is where this bad boy comes in. This is one of the best things I've ever gotten in my life before. That did not really make sense. I was gonna say this is one of the best purchases I've ever made, but technically my school gave it to me. So I guess I didn't really buy it straight up, but like, it's amazing. So I'm gonna show you how to make the wobbly text or get like the doodles on your videos. Literally, I cannot tell you how many times saw people's videos or thumbnails and they had this like handwritten text, and I'm like searching on DaFont through all their handwritten the handwritten text, like where are they getting this from? And it's like, probably they wrote that, okay? You're not gonna find a font on DaFont.com. It's her handwriting on Procreate, okay? So many YouTubers have started investing in iPads and using Procreate to kind of enhance their videos. So I'm gonna show you how to animate graphics and also text, the basics and settings of things, and just kind of like give you the general rundown on how to do it, because I know I went through some trial and error and I just wanna help out anyone who's desperately looking for how to do this, because I know I was. To make these little doodles, the first thing you're going to want to do is open Procreate, and I have a canvas set to the size of thumbnails. It just makes it easier so I don't have to like adjust things, and I know what size they're going to be when I import them to Final Cut Pro. So we'll go ahead and start with animations. What you're going to do is go into one of those canvases, make sure that the background color is clicked off. Then you're just gonna go and draw to your little heart's content on your different layers. Just keep in mind that this animation is going to be playing through the layers that you draw. Think about that progression in your mind and how that's gonna play out. Once you finish, you're going to click on the little crowbar in the left-hand side, and it's gonna pop up the little share settings. You're going to want your animation to be saved and shared in animated PNG. So click on that, and then something like this should pop up where it's like your animation is going crazy. It's like 50 times faster than you want it to be. So to fix that, you're going to go over to the little frames per second slidey bar, and you're gonna slide it to whatever speed you want your animation to be going at. I usually do around 4 or 5 for animations. It also depends on how many layers you made, so keep that in mind as well. For handwritten text, it's pretty much the same thing as the animations. You're gonna open a canvas, make the background transparent. I usually do 3 to 4 layers of text, and you're just gonna write whatever you want to be handwritten in one, and then open a new one, write over top of that, but don't make it look exactly the same, and then open one more and do the same thing right over those. So you have 3, or you can do 4, or however many you want. I just usually go 3 or 4. And then you're gonna go to the same settings as you did for the animation, and there you have it. The last thing I'm going to do is add in music and sound effects. Tip number 1, just forget the little videos of like copyright free music for YouTube. That ship has sailed. We're no longer doing that anymore. I don't know. I guess you can use that music. There's so many better options now, but if you're willing to like subject your video to possibly getting copyrighted, then you can do whatever you want. But I just don't recommend it, because I have a video that has like 7 million views and it got copyrighted, and I've made so much less money than I could have made, and I just didn't know. This was like early in my channel, and it just breaks my heart to this day. So I just don't want anyone else to make that mistake. I have 3 places where you should be getting your music from. The first is Thematic. It's an awesome option if you need something free, and it has great music. I love Thematic. I still use their music, and you know you're not gonna get copyrighted, so I definitely recommend that above just searching up copyright free music on YouTube. The other place I would recommend getting your music from is Artlist.io or Epidemic Sound. So I personally use Epidemic Sound. I finally bent, I finally gave in to the subscription music. I'm never going back, guys. It has opened my creativity. I just don't feel worried about music anymore, and it's so much fun to explore all the music on their site. It is $15 a month. I personally feel like I'm at a spot now where I can invest into good music that's gonna enhance my video. If you're feeling like your music options are a little dull, I definitely recommend stepping into a little Epidemic Sound. If you decide to get music off of YouTube, I have a whole video about that. how to download it onto the MP3, all that kind of thing, and just like about music and YouTube. So I'll link that below. Sound effects can enhance your video so much, whether it be you're putting like a pop when text comes on. So many little things can help enhance your videos. A few of the sound effects, they're sound effects, but they're like songs, okay? They're like funny songs that I like adding to my videos. Some of my favorites are Dewdrops, Acoustic Sunrise, Havana, Island. There's so many more that I love. Those were just off the top of my head. In Final Cut Pro, just spend the time going through all of the sound effects and pick which ones you like. Another thing you can do, you can find those on YouTube and use the YouTube to MP3 converter to get those like super fun sound effects. So whether it's like the bruh or those ones that don't come on Final Cut Pro, or if you're looking for like a VHS one, those are all things that you can get on YouTube. The shortcut that you're going to want to implement when you're using sound effects and music is the range tool. This will help you out if you have been cutting clips and like individually making the volume go up and down. You click R and then select where you want the beginning to the end of wherever you want it to be quieter or louder, and then you can just pull up or down on that bar and then it can change the volume. You don't have to cut any of the music into pieces to individually change the volume. You can just use the range tool and then that makes it easier. The very last step for me in my whole editing process is color grading, and this, like, I still don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to color grading. I didn't color grade any of my videos, and then I watched Hannah Lisa's video. I kind of followed what she did and used her settings, saved it how she told me to, and watched the videos she recommended, and that gave me a little bit more perspective. I will say a few of my videos on my channel, they need some help in the color grading department. It just takes practice. So I have base correction in my titles section that I downloaded, and so I just pull that into my timeline, and then I have a preset saved called CC for color correction, and I drag that onto the base correction and it puts like a preset onto my videos. And as you can see, it usually is like not the right colors. It's way too saturated and it usually just doesn't look that great. I honestly should just make a new preset, but I'm lazy and just haven't. What I do is I go in and adjust all of these settings, and I usually have the orange at like +5. I will sometimes raise the saturation a little bit. I'm not very good at it. Again, I'll link Kana and that other guy's color grading video down below. The final step. You've completed the video, color graded it, everything's looking good, your music is bomb, your transitions are fire, your sound effects got everybody laughing, you've watched through your video, you feel satisfied. You're like, yeah, this is done. That, my friends, is when I export my video. To export a video, go to the top right-hand corner of Final Cut Pro to the little square with an arrow coming out of the top. I have programmed Final Cut Pro to be able to upload my videos directly to YouTube. So there's no middleman. I like don't have the video saved anywhere, and it'll just like, it'll go right there. But sometimes that can be a little bit finicky, but how you do that is you add a destination and then you click YouTube and then you sign into your account and then you just have everything saved on there. So it uploads your video as an unlisted video straight from Final Cut Pro. Sometimes I'll do that depending on how my computer and my Wi-Fi and everything is working. The other way that I export videos is to my hard drive. To do this, I'll click Master File and then I make sure to put the destination where the video file should be saved as the Lacey hard drive. It saves it to my hard drive and then I will keep my hard drive connected. Then I will just open up the online browser and upload through that. I hope you guys enjoyed going through the editing process with me. If you have any questions based on anything that I said in the video, just let me know down below and I will make sure to answer those for you guys. I love to be of help because I know what it's like to start from the beginning and just have no idea what you're doing and feel really lost and like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get to the point where I can do this, that, or the other. But I'm telling you, with practice, you can do it. You are gonna be able to edit videos that you never would have thought you could. I love you guys so much. I'm so excited for all the videos that are coming up this year. If you are new here and came specifically to learn how to edit, I hope you'll stick around. I do plan on doing some more videos that have to do with YouTube channels and tips and things like that because I love watching those videos and they're so helpful for me. So I want to make those for you guys and help people who are in the same position as I was. If that interests you and if my life interests you, then make sure to subscribe down below and follow me on Instagram at Rehl, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I love you guys so much and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.